Let me start with a question. How much time do you currently spend searching for the right bonds? If the answer is too long, or if you feel like you might be missing for some hidden opportunities, then you're in the right place. And today we're going to change that. My name is Lana Veselova, and today I'm going to give you a live and practical masterclass on one of our most powerful tools, the Cbonds Bond Screener. Our goal is simple, is to transform you from someone who searches for bonds into someone who finds them with speed and precision. So for current subscribers, let's make sure that you are getting 100% from this powerful tool. Believe me, I use this tool for 10 years on a daily basis, helping different clients to find bonds, particularly according to their needs. And even after 10 years, I still can be surprised. Sometimes some filters might not be too much noticeable, or maybe you come up with different ideas, or maybe we can add some new filters that you are not aware of. So let's try and upgrade your skills. For those who are new, well, congrats. Consider this your fast pass to becoming a bond screening expert. So today we're going to have a session divided into two parts. There would be some practical overview of different types of searches, starting from the basics, how you can find particularly one bond that you know and you're interested in. Then we'll level up and run several different scenarios according to different kind of like usage types, as if you were investor, or as you were researcher, or as you were, I don't know, some consulting, and you are evaluating different segments. And the most interesting part would be, of course, the second part with the live Q&A. So feel free to leave your questions in the chat and we'll cover it. I'll make some recommendations on your particular questions, how you can find bonds that you're interested in. And of course, as a gift from me, all participants of the webinar will receive a nice guide with all the links of the searches that we'll make today. So you can repeat it easily and improve your skills immediately, straight after the webinar. So we'll show you some actionable techniques, how you can find different bonds in case you're still not fully aware of all the opportunities that are hidden into our bond screener. So let's get started. If you are active in the bond market, of course, it depends on the role, what type of the data you need, what depth of the data you need, but definitely you need a powerful tool with a global coverage. So no matter what focuses you have, maybe you are interested in some developed markets like, I don't know, some corporate US bonds, or if you are focused only on European markets, or maybe you are a researcher and you are investigating some emerging market opportunities. All of you need a good database where you can screen, because screening among 10,000 K, of course, you can get absolutely different results in case you would have the possibility to screen over 980,000 bonds, which we cover globally, covering 200 countries worldwide. This is our key business, and of course today we'll cover the bond screening, but definitely if you are analyze some corporate issues, for instance, this is pretty curious to understand what is their performance in stocks. So you can also have a clear idea and use our coverage of stocks. Maybe some ETFs, they can be of bond type or maybe some stock types. So you can also check some information on ETFs, which bonds are included into those instruments. And you can see maybe some indices. Why not, for instance, to check some index for, let's say, corporate investment grade bonds in the US market or some particular market, but in Brazilian, in order to find some interesting investment ideas. So we'll start with some very basic points. Let's start and go to the website. So as of now, you see our homepage. So first of all, let's start with very simple search. Let's say you know the ISIN of a particular bond, or you have a QZIP or a Bloomberg ticker, or maybe you just know the issuer and let's say year of maturity. This is how you can use our bond screener, and this is how you can find bonds, stocks, indices, ETFs at one go and directly go to the bond page. So this is one way how you can assess one particularly bond page. Nothing too difficult. And of course, you have one pager with all the descriptive data. You have the calculator, how you can calculate the different parameters like yield to maturity, yield to call, accurate coupon interest. You can read all the terms for the bond. You can see their dynamics of changes of prices. You can see how the bond is traded today. We have intraday quotes, they are highlighted in green. And end of the day quotes from 400 sources. You can study in details the issuer, if they have stocks. You can read all the terms about the cash flow, when the call option and what type of the call option they would have. You have the list of identifiers. So in case you have some other systems where you need to match, so you can get all the identifiers, 144A, QZIP, and many other identifiers. You can double check the ratings for the issue, for the issuer, for the SPV. You can read the current and the historical. You can get the covenants. So we analyze prospectuses and state covenants as a hyperlink, so you can be aware of all the details. You can get the bond classification, so pay attention. And why I'm showing this, because right afterwards, we'll go to the bond screener. And this is how you can find bonds according to different types of the bonds. So we mark them as in green. So this bond is senior unsecured, it is callable, it is registered, it is coupon bond. So we state the types of the bonds, and this is how you can find similar bonds. By the way, we also have a section with the similar issues at the bond page. So when you are looking at your particular bond that you're interested in, pay attention to this section. So maybe there are some other interesting options for your consideration. These are bonds with a similar currency, similar rating, similar year of maturity. So maybe there would be some interesting opportunities for you. Of course, when you analyze bonds, I would also recommend you to check the list of holders. These are the funds who hold this bond in their portfolio with the market value and the last disclosure date. So it shows the appetite of the market. So if there are lots of funds who are investing in this bond, definitely this is one of good identifiers for you. If the company is public, you'll see their multipliers, so you can see their financial reports. So pay attention, they are well structured. You can see their EBITDA, you can see many parameters. And by the way, in the watch list, you can get the notification when the new financial statements are released. So you can be warned about it and make your decisions. By the way, pay attention to the liquidity parameter. Afterwards, we'll go to the bond screener, and we'll have also one of the filters for liquidity. This is also a very interesting new filter that we created. So, of course, you can rely on some spreads between bid ask. You can see if the Cbonds estimation average market price is calculated. So it gives you the idea how liquid the bond is. But as well, you can rely to our score of liquidity. So we calculated for international bonds that are of 250 billion amount outstanding. So they should be pretty liquid for that. So this is one way how you can find as a target one particular bond. So as you can see, this box is available at any page, so you can find it anywhere. But today we met for the bond screener because you need to perform absolutely different types of the searches. So the best part is that bond screener is available in any type of the subscription, no matter if you're a private investor or corporate user. All of you have the same possibilities to find very interesting market opportunities. You can have many filters. You can visualize them in a very nice way. So let's assume you have a few issuers and you want to compare them. So you can start with our basic field in the bond search. So let's say we want to compare all Apple bonds, all Meta platforms, and let's say we want to compare Microsoft. So you just type and choose the company. You can find, for instance, in the currency, let's say we want to check all bonds in USD and in Euro, and we want to check all international bonds. So let's assume we want to check and compare 3 issuers. As you can see, these are the filters that I applied. So let's start with the basics, what you can do with our screener. So first of all, you get the table with around 60 descriptive parameters and the last pricing data. The most favorite part of all our users, for those who have Excel possibility to export the data in Excel, that improves your market screening tremendously. So you get the table with the last pricing information and all the descriptive parameters that I showed you at the bond page. They are all available at this particular page in a structured form. So everything what you have just seen with the last price, yield, spread, liquidity, change in price within 1 month, week, 3 months. You can see duration, modified duration, whether it is this bond is callable, when. You see the industry. You can see the coupon payments, all the details, all the amounts, and so on and so forth. So many parameters. Definitely, I always recommend to visualize your search results on the market map. They are right below the table, but if you want, you can click directly because if you have too many results. So this is your yield map. So you can add the names. You can add the benchmark. So depending on the searches. So for instance, we picked and USD and Euro. Right now, I want to add UST for USD denominated bond. If you want, you can group them by issuer and you can compare which issuer gives you just a bit better yield. You can group them by currency, so you can see if you don't like the names, by the way, the colors, you can just click once again and get just a bit another way how they can be available at your yield map. So these are your search results, and this is pretty clear where these bonds, according to the scale of duration, and for instance, you can change not only in yield, but in spreads. But further, I would honestly recommend you to make the search in one currency because it would be just a bit easier for you to see the yields without any currency calculations. So you can also end the trends for different issues. You can add your target points. So for instance, you have the your target that you would like to have, I don't know, 6% yield and some mid duration around 5 years. So let's check. So this is your target. And if you want, you can just click on the chart and enlarge your particular part of this line. So you could just minimize your duration, not only with the filters, but also with the just clicking on the charts. So as you can see, you can conveniently and export the data in Excel and visualize them on the yield map. But for your time convenience, if you do such query pretty often, you can always save your query, name as you prefer. So let's say you always track a few issues, or if you track some type of bonds like investment grade corporate bonds globally with a certain yield, so you can just name it and you can get the updates on your saved searches. You can add notifications and receive them via email. So this is how you can stay updated without any super efforts. Not bad, right? So let's talk about some work in a team, for instance. So let's say you found your search results and you want to share it with your colleague. So you can simply copy this address line and share with your colleague so he'll open the search results on the same page. Hope all of you knew about all these features. By the way, if you save these saved queries, they will be available in your Excel add-in if you use this tool. And of course, as I mentioned, you can get the updates on your saved searches. They will have their names, how you created. So let's clear the form and let's right now run a few scenarios of the usage. So of course, you can start with some of our templates for your very quick start, just to understand how you can find some US treasuries or US investment grade high yield bonds in USD or in Euro. But now we want to be aware how you can do it. So let's work a bit. So let's say you want to find some corporate bonds. So let's filter by corporate. You want to find some international bonds in USD that are traded less than 98 of a price par. Let's say you want to find bonds with yields starting from 4.5. Let's limit by 15 in order to avoid some junk bonds. Let's say mid duration starting from 2 up to 10 years. And the crucial point for us, for instance, right now is the investment grade. So we pick the rating for the issuer as we're checking the international bonds. You pick this option. If you're looking for domestic bonds, pick another option for local currency. Let's assume your issue is not rated by all the rating agencies, so you can use max, and you start with the minimum value up to max, so starting from BBB up to AA. So let's proceed with some simple search. So let's just check the coupon. So we want just plain vanilla bonds and coupon starting from, let's say, 2%. So this is how you can screen bonds. As you can see, these are the filters that I applied, and we found 645 bonds. Hope you know that you can always edit your query. So let's say if this is too much for your analysis, let's make it just a bit higher. For instance, the yield we added with 5%. So as you can see, right now we have only 208 bonds to analyze. So as you can see, you can always tailor your searches. And here we go. These are the names that we got within this search. Okay, what if you want to find only, so let's limit, probably it would be too high. So we'll limit the yield starting from 2, but we want to find only kind of like fresh bonds, which are just released on the market. So of course you can check our market news pipeline. We have a separate news pipeline. So you can, for instance, filter by category only upcoming issues. So let's say you want to filter only, I don't know, bonds of Europe, or you can check by issuer as well. So let's check what are new bonds for the past month. This is one way how you can get the information about just released bonds, but there are not so many filters that you can apply. So I would recommend you to use end of placement filter. So let's say we want to check everything what was released starting from October 1st. Again, you can just tailor maybe some particular fields. And well, let's see, we have only 3 bonds with these particular filters, just because they are traded less than 98. But let's edit the query. So I moved one filter. And now we have absolutely different results. So play around with it. Okay, now let's assume you are private investor, and you have the preference of investing in bonds that are of some small trading lot, and in case you have some preferences if they are traded on a particular stock exchange. For instance, we have many investors from Italian market that are investing only in those bonds which are traded only on Italian stock exchange. So let's run similar scenarios. Maybe it would be your particularly, I don't know, some Toronto stock exchange or Berlin stock exchange, up to you. So let's check, for instance, we want to have the issues in euro. Let's say leave and corporate and sovereign bonds, but they should be traded on Italian stock exchange, and for instance, Euro2LX. They sent us lots of information about trading volume, so I would also recommend you to check these bonds. So let's assume you want to filter only those bonds which are of small trading lot. It would be minimum settlement amount filter. Let's assume you want to find only those bonds which are of 3% yield, maybe with some well, starting from 2 years, because actually lots of sovereign issues in Europe, and let's limit only by Europe. They are of long duration, and you can find very interesting opportunities there. And of course, let's add our criteria according to the yield. You can play around. Maybe double B plus would be also suitable for you. There are many interesting opportunities. And now let's add the filter about the liquidity. So it would be helpful for you for international bonds. For domestic market, European market, for instance, we don't calculate it yet, but track all our changes. So we can choose maybe some particular level, yeah, and let's leave, for instance, average level, how it is traded. And let's leave also fixed, and for instance, again, 2% coupon. So this is how you can find all the new ones which are just released on the market. Pay attention how it is traded. You can pay attention to the change in price. By the way, you can always customize your fields. So maybe you don't like this particular order. You can move and change the columns and work with the data online. So let's check, for instance, all the changes for 3 months, and for instance, only those bonds which had some considerable change in price. So let's move to another type of the search. Hope you know and receive and like our new weekly newsletters for top gainers and losers. These are newsletters that we prepare for our clients, and we choose those bonds which had considerable changes within price over, for instance, 1 week. But you can actually duplicate as well. So let me show you how you can do it yourself. So let's say we want international bonds in USD, let's say. Now we want to find also only liquid bonds. Just let me collapse so it would be smaller. Let's say we want to have a yield starting from 5 up to 10 with some, again, mid duration. It's pretty convenient. Let's say we want to have, again, some fixed coupon starting from 5%. We want, so I will leave this query further so you can just see how it is working and add just a few filters later. So in issue information, you have a separate filter, change within indicative price, and you can change different time frames. So maybe it would be 1 month, maybe it would be 3 months for you, or 1 month as or 1 week as we do. So let's take 1 month, but our changes would be from minus 30% from the price. So pay attention. It should be difference from the previous trading value. So we'll have not a huge kind of like window of the opportunities, but still pretty much enough for your understanding. So as you can see, you can work with this table, and you can visualize all your bonds and see which bonds has changed within 1 month with some considerable changes. So you can analyze the data online, or you can export and analyze it in a different way. So you can sort the data by the columns which are highlighted in different way. Okay, then let's try to create some inflation proof portfolio. In case you are interested in some inflation-linked bonds, you can choose, for instance, sovereign bonds. And you can, definitely one of your criteria would be the face value indexation. So let's pick again the rating. And in the classification, as you can see, we have many filters, and we'll try to make several scenarios. So this filter for classification allows you to find some particular type of the bonds, or it allows you to exclude from your searches. So right now we'll pick the face value indexation, and well, let's check how many bonds we have. So again, you can filter by the currency. So let's leave, for instance, only Europe. And when you'll be analyzing such bonds, definitely you'll find one particularly field, and it would be just shown inflation linked. So these are these types of the bonds. So let's assume you want to find only secured bonds, which are kind of like some banked. So as you can see, we have also bond rank filter. So you can find, for instance, secured bonds or maybe senior. Let's even pick senior secured bonds. And let's pick again something of USD denominated bonds. So among the filters, you will find the information about the. So you can always check the status at the top of the page. This is senior secured. Let's assume that you invest only in kind of like making the full purchase. If these are some short-term bonds, so let's say you want to invest in USD, and you want to get the bonds which are less than 1 year, and you can always filter by the outstanding amount. So let's say we want the bonds of 10 billion. I think that would be pretty much enough. And let's leave also the filters for the rating. So maybe you have, it's not kind of like a deposit in the bank, but definitely you're not committed to a long duration bonds. So feel free. Maybe you want some Walt Disney fairy tale in your portfolio, or maybe some short-term bonds. Definitely, if you are researcher, and if, for instance, you are investigating, let's say, green bonds. So we have a special filter. As you might know, green bonds, they can be of absolutely different types. They can be social, sustainability linked. But if you're not aware, we have one super filter for ESG. It includes all these filters. So let's assume you want to find all green bonds from Europe and denominated in USD in euro currency. Let me, for instance, check. Let's say with a certain yield. As you can see, you have the limit for one search for 2,500 records, but when you apply some filters, you can definitely find all this information about your search results would fit. So as you can see again, this bond is green bond type. We have a separate section, by the way, so you can pay attention. For the league tables, for the regions that issue bonds the most. So maybe you can find in our newsletter, pretty interesting for you. Let's run, for instance, if you are dealing with SUKUK instruments. If you're active in MENA region, there are particularly different types of instruments. They are called SUKUK. So let's say you want to find all SUKUK in USD. You can limit by, for instance, region in order to find only those instruments that you want. And let's leave and make a very simple search. If you make your queries according to different types of the searches, if you want to find only liquid bonds, I would also recommend you to filter by the yield. So you can always find those bonds which are tradable. By the way, if you want, you can also filter and apply the filters trading around Cbonds estimation. So these bonds definitely should have Cbonds estimation quote. Of course, by default, you will see the quotes here for Cbonds estimation, but it just gives you one more kind of like filters that this bond is definitely kind of like liquid, as we calculate Cbonds estimation quote only if we receive several quotes from different stock exchanges. So as you can see, this is one of the SUKUK instruments. And let's make last two searches, and afterwards we'll start the Q&A. So please prepare your questions if you come up with some. So let's assume you are some institutional investor and you are interested in supranational bonds. They are issued usually by some development banks or a BRD or something like that. So we have a special filter for this. So let's say we want to find supranational bonds, and frequently they are issued in some even local currencies. So for instance, let's check some Mexican peso. I know it is not expected from me right now, as we were checking only in hard currencies, but why not? And so as you can see, these are all names for supranational bonds. And if you like some particularly bond, you simply click on this dot, and then you're forwarded to the bond page, and so you can analyze it in more depth. And let's run another search. Sorry, let me just minimize all my windows. So let's assume you are investing in bank sector. And there are like thousands of bonds from bank sector, but for instance, you are interested in Capital One tire. So these are bonds which you can find and filter by the filter Capital Tire. So they are called 81. And let's say you want to find international bonds in USD. So just applying this filter, it is pretty much enough for you to visualize the bonds of this particularly of this type. Definitely, we have some one bond which are giving too much yield. So let me just add it, and yeah, we can minimize and see what are the other market opportunities. So we analyze use of proceeds and provide you with a separate filter, so you can here find this information and filter it according to your particular preferences. So let's probably end our searching session with this particular search. As you can see, all these searches, they are duplicated in the user guide that you will receive after the webinar. So I really hope you found this format pretty interesting, and it gives you just a bit better understanding how our bond screener works. So feel free to make some improvisation, try different filters. I just want to highlight that the logic of this tool is and, not or. So try not to filter by some controversial filters. So you cannot find and SUKUK and green and Supranational bond in one. So pick something one for one search. So try to understand that you cannot pick some controversial filters. Thank you very much for watching. In case you would like to give it a try, feel free to ask for 1 week trial. We'll launch it for any convenient time for you. If you already have the subscription, I really hope you will use all these techniques further. And in case you have any questions, feel free to ask me or our support managers. They will be happy to guide you on your particular case, how you can find bonds according to your particular needs. So now let's start with the question part. So feel free to ask questions. So we have one question from Gustavo asking for recommendations for transfer pricing benchmark. Very nice question, by the way, because we also have many clients who are active in transfer pricing or maybe some audit companies, and they need to find kind of like comparable bonds. So definitely when you have some particular criteria for bonds, so let's say you need to find all bonds of, I don't know, some oil and gas sector. So you filter by particularly industry, you pick the currency, you pick the maybe rating level that you need, maybe the maturity date. So here you will find those bonds which kind of like having the current prices. Well, you will find the list of bonds which match all your criteria. So I would recommend you to start with the bond search. And then you can check, you can add them into your watch list. Or if you already have your Excel add-in, you can visualize them also in Excel add-in and check the historical quotes. Or if you want, many clients also of this type, they go to the bond quote search. So there are less filters, of course, but in any case, you can also filter the industry. You can filter the currency, and definitely you can check the date. So basically, usually you need to have kind of like reference for particular historical time frame. So you can check all bonds which are traded on, I don't know, Frankfurt Stock Exchange, for instance, if they are international bonds, and you can select bonds. By the way, if you want, you can check here all bonds of how they are traded right now or for the historical date. So let's say we want to find all bonds which are traded on Toronto Stock Exchange as of now. Hold on a second. So today we have 5th. And let's say we want to find only corporate bonds that are traded right now. So you can see the time of the update. But if you want to check for some historical date, you just change the time frame and that's it. Okay, then let's move with the next question. Amitabh, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. So he asks about the spread to SOFR. I see we have G spread. Well, definitely, if we speak about different types of bonds, so hope you noticed as well that in the bond search, you have the filters for different rates. You can see whether it is fixed or floating rate, and different types of rates. In the search, you will see, for instance, the comment about the SOFR. Probably I didn't highlighted it. So we have the information about the SOFR rates directly. We have G spread as a benchmark for any type of the bond. So you can get price, yield, and basically T spread for any bond. And you have the information about the SOFR rates and other others. So this is how you can also find bonds, or at least have this benchmark in the additional field. And we actually working now on adding some additional filters, so you could further apply and search for bonds which are linked only to sulfur or maybe some other spreads. Okay, we have question from Dennis. Are you covering selfie standard of living indexed or forward starting income only securities? Frankly speaking, we don't have any kind of like forward starting income. These are basic kind of like plain bonds, basic bonds that you can apply. They can be of different segments. Not sure if you are talking about some supplies, utilities. Let's come back if you can drop me the email. So let's cover it in details so I can be more precise in the answers. We have a question from Stefan. Is it possible to search for a list of bonds with the best after-tax yields based on 30% tax rate? Actually, we don't have the filter for tax rate because for each country it can be absolutely different. This is how you can just filter bonds according to the basic parameters. But there are around 60 or even more filters that you can apply, and you can just double check with your legislature which bonds have particularly tax rate or some others. Maybe you have any other questions? We have questions in the question part. Okay. Sanjay asks if we have the information about Indian market. Of course, we cover around 200 countries worldwide, so we also cover Indian market pretty well. You can find different types of Indian bonds of golden linked or just government corporate bonds, so definitely you can find. Sanjay also asks about the info about the bond types, senior, perpetual, coupon, and fixed type. Of course, you can find the information about whether it is senior secured or not. If the bond is perpetual, you will always have the perp marked in the title of this particular bond. And you can find them by filtering in the bond classification, definitely. Okay. Gregor asks, in bonds, finding everything about liquidity. So bid asks and volumes. Well, first indicator, as you can see right in the screener, you have the filter for liquidity. Then I would recommend you to check bonds directly one by one. So at the bond page, you will find the information about the trading volumes. Let's say you want to find to analyze some bonds. Let me see, for instance, one of bonds from my watch list. So you can, if the information about the trading volumes is provided, you can always find it in the bond page directly. You can also visualize all these volumes directly, so pay attention to the source where this data is coming from. So you can visualize, for instance, your chart by Italian, for instance, stock exchange. Okay, let's see. So we have domestic mod. Okay, so below the chart, you'll see the trading volumes visualization. But of course, you can visualize it in the archive data and pay attention that you can customize all the fields. So the information about the trading volumes, it would be represented in the Excel version as well. So this is how you can also filter one by one and see how liquid the bond is with the trading volumes and number of deals if they are provided from stock exchanges. Okay, Gregor, of course, we can provide you with a trial possibility. Sanjay asks if we have office in Dubai. Well, actually, we are the headquarters is in Al Quwain in UAE, not particularly in Dubai, but we happen to be in Dubai, as you can see. Next week, we'll have a conference there for fixed income. Feel free to catch up with us, but definitely, in our world, you can definitely stay connected with Zoom and online webinars for sure. Hope we covered Indian market well. We do cover, let me just generalize. So if we speak about international bonds which are denominated in USD, which are issued according to international legislation, we have 100% of all bonds globally. And we cover local markets as well in a very interesting and very comprehensive way. So I would say all emerging market, this is one of our key sites. We have very detailed coverage, which could even complement some other data solutions. So feel free to investigate your particular market that you're interested in. Okay, we'll keep tracking. We have a huge banner at our bond page about our conference next week. So feel free to click on this banner. You'll be forwarded to the conference page with all the details. You can register there and not only participate in the conference, you can get very interesting insights and meet our team in person, definitely. Okay, any other questions for the screener? I hope we cover different types of your searches. In case you need any clarification, definitely I wasn't able to cover all the possibilities of the bond screener, because when you are searching for different types of the bonds, definitely you apply absolutely different filters and your results can be absolutely different. But hope I gave you the feeling that you can perform different searches with our bond screener. You can do it in very convenient way. You can do it in more efficient way with the expert possibility. So you can filter in Excel and analyze in a more careful way. You can visualize on the yield map, so you can compare different market opportunities. If you are, for instance, issuer and you analyze the market trends and plan to issue new bonds, you can see which are profitable terms for your next bond, for instance. If you prepare the analysis of a few issuers, you can use it in this way. If you track different types of the bonds and you want to stay updated, please use our saved searches. Trust me, this is very convenient, and time, this is the most precious what we have value in our life. So you can make some things more automatic in order to spend your time in more pleasant and in more efficient way. So you have more time for thinking, for analysis, and not just for the process of the searching pieces one by one at different data solutions or different websites. So with Cbonds, you can stay updated on new bonds. You can stay updated on the current bonds which are on the market. We also store historical data, so you can analyze and refer to any historical data if you're, for instance, transfer pricing company, or if you analyze with AI tools. So we have definitely lots of things to offer you. Anyways, Thank you so much for spending this time and day with me. Please stay updated because we still have a major announcement for you very soon. Sorry, this is a secret. I cannot tell you everything, but definitely we have a huge announcement to make about the bond screening process very soon. So thank you very much for watching. Keep finding bonds, not spending hours for searches.